This is why you came here, because you will learn somehow the importance of the universal language of human consciousness, the lesson of integration, okay? And once again, because the Romans are coming very, very soon, I have to show you a little work that I did together with my students, because I asked them to first prove to me that the letters came from paintings. So the first maybe 15 slides or so will be an illustration of that everywhere in the world the system of writing was not linear in the beginning. It was the image. Every letter was once a unique picture. Then it was streamlined, then it became just the left brain, it became very formal. However, not only in the minds of those great artists who are here with us, some of them in person, many of them just through their work, everywhere they brought them back. Letters and pictures, systems of writings and images and mythologies were married again, okay? And so now I have to create a significant miracle, because although you may think that I have all the power in the world, but in order to start clicking, I actually need to have help from the masculine divine and tell I'm ready to click. Young deity Jesse, young Apollo, are you ready? Can we go on? Okay. The next one. Ah, miracle! Okay, so the letter R, letter A, letter alpha, right, was once, and these are my students painted that for me, so I love them so much. Okay, she thought better a goat, some say a bull, some say a ram, what do I care? These distinct form, no, I did not point it, go back. Oh, okay, too fast. Yeah, there you go, okay. So this distinct horn picture in all forms of letter A, in Hebrew, in Arabic, in Latin, in Russian, in Polish, in Bulgarian, comes from that beloved animal. Okay, now we can go. Yes? Okay. Letter B, better, is actually a picture of the house. Once it was a house made out of reeds, that's why it has this rigid structure, but then it was rethought in the terms of the house of the Mediterranean, so you can see the shape at the top, then it became this very interesting, and then that's what we have now. Okay, next letter. Okay. G was once a camel. Gimel, Gamma, Gad, a camel, right? What a beauty. Don't you like when somebody writes you a letter and says, Snoven Godam, and Gad is a camel. New year and year, Y is a camel. Okay, for the next one. This is an interesting one. This is, of course, D, or delta of the Greeks. Some dictionaries tell it came from the image of the door. However, one of my students said, she said, I don't believe it. I don't like the door. I'm going to dig and find there is another possibility. And sure enough, in some variations of these scripts, the delta is actually a fish. All right? Okay, Jesse, let's go to the next one. How many of you realize that your letter kappa in Greek, or k, comes from that empty space inside your hand? If you look down into your hand, you'll see your letter k, or kappa, or k. Okay, next one. Okay, letter M comes from the image of the wave of the oak. This is fake. I only show that I do that because it's been set up in such a way that they flip it over there. Okay, so letter M comes from the image of the wave, and this is why the word mare, more, right, utilizes letter, but originally it was just a picture of the waves. Okay, the next slide, please. Nu, or N, comes either from an image of a snake or an eel. And it's funny how my Catholic student who did this picture, she did not want to paint a snake, so here is this mythology and linear thinking. She gave the second variation, which is the eel. Okay, the next one. This is so-called Occhio exactly. And it's interesting that it's not the real O. The real O Greeks wrote with the help of a letter known as omega. This is a small, inside the throat, almost guttural O, this small O, and that was expressed by the image of an eye. So it was a picture many, many hundreds of years ago. Okay. Now, where are we now? Another system of writing, which became, once again, very logical, very linear. However, in Japan, Korea, and China, and have you ever wondered why in the world these ancient civilizations are moving ahead of the alphabet users? Because their system did not kill completely the right brain activity. Their system of writing, known as characters, right, is still using the pictures. So the mountain, or shan in Chinese, or sun in Japanese, this is what we see right now. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, here is your character Mu, or Moku. It is a real picture of the tree. And once again, when we see the letters of English alphabet, or Greek, Roman, Russian, when we see T-R-E-E, you do not necessarily see the tree. But people in Japan and China, when they see this element of their system of writing, they always see the tree. When they write poetry with the signs, they physically observe the growing tree. Okay, the next one. Isn't she beautiful? The mother moon. Once again, used to be a real picture of the waning and waxing moon, and it became a character katsu in Japanese, or the word yue, or a character yue in Chinese. Okay, the next one. Water, very much like the stream of water, and this artist did a very good job to show the waterfall, to understand those breaks in the flow of the water. Mizu, or Mizu in Japanese, and Shui in Chinese comes from this picture. Okay, the next one, Jason, please. Oh, and this is the character child. Once again, the real picture of the baby, but guess what? I asked many Chinese students of mine, I asked them, do you see a little bit of the baby in the character zi? Or kodomo, if you use a Japanese word, and they say, yes, we do. Sometimes we forget, but sometimes we see. Okay, starting the next slide, I'm going to show you how the Japanese people brought back the left and the right hemispheres by producing art where images and words are inseparable, where they all become one, moving us toward the universal language of consciousness. Okay, just give us this next one. Oh, sorry, I missed one character. Okay, this is the character Tiger. And after that, there should be already the paintings. Okay? Yes, oh, I love this poem so much. Every time I look at it, I'm in a little ecstasy. First of all, how many of you realize that this is a text, that something is actually written on this piece of paper? Yeah, I know. I tested it just recently and said, what? Yes. So that poem, until yesterday, I could meet her. But today she's gone. Like clouds over the mountain, she has been wafted away by a very talented Ishiyama. Those little streaks that look like old sticks blown by the wind. I wish I had the laser pointer at this moment. But maybe I can run to the stage and show you the actual sentences. So the page is tainted with different colors. But these little thingies up from there, this is a particular style of writing that Japanese people developed, known as the grass writing style. So the words are actually flying on the face of the paper, like leaves and old sticks and the debris of the decay in the fall, and this is how this whole poem is written. You cannot tell what is the image and what is the word. Okay, the next one. This one I love so much. Here you can see the writing on the paper a little bit better, right? You can see the Japanese characters a little better? A little bit better, right? So over there, the big ones. So the words say, the autumn wind blows on all sleeves, white and is mine alone, so wet with tears upon this evening. And this actual corner over there, of slightly purplish bluish color, is an actual piece of silk. It's an actual piece of his kimono. And this is another proof of that when you put together the system of writing with images, left and right brain, you give man permission to cry, to be beautiful in the expression of strong emotions, of loving, of wanting, of missing. And this is what happens here. The actual piece of his kimono is glued into this piece of the rice paper, covered with his words that look like what to you? Like stains of tears, like streaks of tears on the fabric. Is it something or what? And it takes cultivation and understanding that this can be done, that the words and images become one, and our brain remains healthy. There is no more cutting into two parts, good and bad, black and white, do or do not. Okay, next one. This one, it talks about how the Japanese cherry tree is blossoming, and then the petals are carried away by the wind, and those petals make piles of snow. So that which blooms becomes that which kills the bloom. Right there, the flowers become the frost and the snow that kills the flowers. And therefore the poem is painted there in such a way that you can see the falling snow if you want to. If you're on the snow side, every time I feel something good about him, it's going to be frozen again, right? Where every time I think, oh, she can be my friend, and no way, Jose, with this person I can never be friends, right? Or you can think that those are just the petals that are taken by the wind here and there and somewhere else, creating various forms and shapes. But the poem itself, it was written in such a way that is completely part of the flowers, of the petals falling, and of the snow formed from the flowers. Two opposites brought together in a most masterful way. Okay, let's go to the next image. This one is by Emperor Go-Enyu, and this is a very sad poem where he talks about rain precluding him from meeting his beloved concubine. If these letters in which he wrote this poem don't look like droplets of rain for you, then tell me what they are. These are exactly like those things. Remember, they had the rice paper, the paper that was oiled, right, to withstand the water, and you have those little droplets flowing down the oil paper, and this is the rain that he painted, and this is the rain that doesn't allow the beautiful romantic encounter between the emperor and his geisha to take place on that particular windy November night. Very good. Let's go to the next one. This one reminded me so much of the painted hands from the collection. You walked around, you saw it. He painted poems, words of importance on his own hands to show the closeness of the words to the palms and to the heart. This emperor was forced to abdicate, and then he was murdered, and he wrote on a piece of paper, and words were not enough. He cut his both palms, and with his hands he put in his knowledge into the painting. So image and words, one in one. Okay, next one. This one I love so much because these two are actually words. The one to the left is an actual Japanese word for the beggar, slightly, of course, blown out of proportion and twisted, and this is actually the figure of the samurai. And they built in the elements of the Japanese syllabarium known as katakana to tell, I pledge my allegiance, right? I'm going to serve you, my lord. So this is the word, and you can see the samurai right there. It's exciting. All right. Okay, next. This this is this is already modern day, a cute melon skin spider, and his body is actually a part of the sentence. So melon skin, spider legs floating on the water, and it is actually the part of the syllabarium. It's the syllable tsu that is a part of the name of the spider. And the next one. Okay, who can see his frog-like feet? Shops by the beach all closed and boarded up, insect voices. And the words look a little bit like crickets or like the cicadas' dry skins falling off the tree, the end of the summer, and everything is closed. Okay, the next set will come from the Islamic world. Japanese and Chinese were not the only ones who knew we have to bridge the left and right hemispheres. We have to bring together the word and the image. So let's go to the next slide. All right. What do you think this bird, which we think is the falcon, what is it made out of? Bismillah, 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 hundreds of times rolled into this honorable bird, falcon. Again and again and again, a powerful prayer. That's the Islamic art. Okay? And you have the date. So the name of the God, the compassionate, the merciful, the Bismillah. Let's go to the next one. This actually is the name, and this slide tells you so. The name of the Sultan Suleiman, who could not use any images. How many of you know that according to the Quran, humans are not allowed to make any paintings, any statues whatsoever? So the only way for them to actually bring in the images, bring in the left hemisphere, is by rolling the words into the images. So here you have part of the seal of the Sultan with which he would seal the orders, but it's all made out of his own name. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one I like very much.